Welcome back. It's contract construction time. Jim, forgive me. I feel like we've had this conversation before. What might a Pete Alonso contract look like this offseason?
Well, Sal, it's official. This is going to be the first one of many this winter. We're going to put Pete Alonso into the. I don't know if it's. We'll just throw up his contract and see what we think, right? We brought this one up before because you got to compare him to the past, Matt Olson and Freddie Freeman. Now, those are older contracts. They're both, I think, signed in 2022. But if you look back, Olson, again, it's a relevant contract. He's 28 years old, 8 years, 168. It's $21 million average annual value. Freddie Freeman, who is a little older than where Pete is now, average annual value of $27 million. Listen, I think it's going to be well north of that because the prices have gone up. But I don't think years-wise it's going to be all that much because he's going to play at 31 years old. So the idea, 5 years, 175, it's $35 million. It gets him above where he fits in the pecking order with the Mets. It's above Nimmo. It would be the third highest on the team behind Lindor and Soto. I think that's, along those lines where first basemen are going to get paid. By the way, there's a big drop-off from there. Yeah. And I don't think Vladdy, I know the agent's going to say
that's
Vladdy is
contract.
Yeah, relevant. He's not. It's a ridiculous contract, like you said. So I think that would be the number that would do it for me. And if it's more than that, I think I'd have to walk away.
All right. What do you think, Dan? Would you bring Pete back for that?
We get any opt-outs in there? What do you think?
You can opt out every single year if you want to.
Well, you don't want to play this game. That's the thing. Like, you don't want to play that game.
The numbers aren't really going to go up
we're doing
much.
Again.
Yeah.
But, look, obviously I know Pete Alonso has his flaws, and everybody talks about, well, you want to upgrade the position defensively. Okay, great, but at what expense do you want that to come with your offense? Because say what you want about Pete Alonso. We're talking about a Mets team this year that he had a great season that missed out on the playoffs. Could you imagine if Pete Alonso was not part of this lineup this year, this team might have been eliminated in August? Where were they getting that type of production from outside of, let's say Soto or who else was hot and cold to a certain extent? I know he's 31 years old. I understand that maybe as he ages, the first base position's not going to translate that well with him defensively. But look, everything he's meant to this team, I would do what it takes to bring him back. And I think that Jim's contract that he suggested, even though it's more than Freddie Freeman, who had an MVP, had a World Series when he got that contract, I still think the Mets really have to entertain bringing back number 20.
I wanted to show you guys the notable free agents for next year. This is where I also
they're not great,
like
yeah.
The deal will be sealed. So we have Josh Naylor. I think he and Ryan O'Hearn are probably two of the other best first basemen that will be free agents next year. Josh Naylor, who's with Seattle now, 20 home runs, having a really good season, hitting almost 300. He does a great job over at first. Ryan O'Hearn, 17 pumps. He got traded to San Diego, hitting 281. And then it goes downhill from there. Paul Goldschmidt, Romer Flores, Josh Bell. What? Miguel Andujar, Ty France, Dom Smith. There's a lot of guys. Nobody is even close. No one is even close. They don't hold a candle to what Pete has done. You mentioned some of the numbers. Let me give this one. The second most RBIs in the league this year. Where would they be without Pete? They wouldn't be even sniffing the postseason, right? It was stolen from them because the Reds were better and they played better down the stretch. It should have been theirs, but Pete brought them that much closer. You have to bring Pete back. What do you think?
Yeah, look, I'm not looking at the other first baseman because if they let Pete Alonso go, it's not going to be about finding a better first baseman productive-wise, offensively certainly. But, Jim, we talked about all the defense here. Stearns was talking about that, run prevention. That's what it's about. How do you think that the Mets would replace Pete's offense by letting him walk to upgrade their defense?
It's really difficult to think about it. You'd have to go to like a Kyle Schwarber. You have to overpay him as a DH. You'd have to go look at Kyle Tucker. It's not a great fit, but he would be an upgrade defensively. You could put him in right. You could put Soto in left as an example.
Nimmo DH a little bit.
Nimmo DH, right? You can move him in there and find a defensive first baseman. There's going to be an equation that works where it's like, okay, run prevention and run production, right? You hate to lose Pete. There's no question. I don't know how you even make up for that. But part of what they're going to do this winter is reduce how many runs they gave up. So, how does that end up working? I think it has to include Pete, even in putting Pete into the DH role, in a defensive first baseman, a kind of late inning guy, maybe plays 50, 60 games, something along those lines. I think they're really in a box. They can't go without signing Pete.
Yeah, we talked about this earlier in the week. Like, the problem is Soto's not going anywhere committed to him. big contract commitment to both Lindor and Nimmo. And if it were me and I had to keep 2 of those 4, it would be Soto and Alonso. But how do you get rid of the other 2?
Pete's in a great spot right now. Let's face it, right? I mean, to be him and Scott Boras, they're going into.
But they also can't just bring it back and say, well, here we go again. With
No,
these
they
4
can't
guys.
run the same. No, they can't re-rack it.
That's the one thing
I agree
that
with you.
can't happen under any circumstances.